Hey everybody, Joel, Moose Droppings by ImportSauce.com. Today we wanted to show you how we added an external or an additional oil pressure gauge or sensor so that we could run a GlowShift oil pressure gauge inside of the cockpit. So stick around, we'll show you what we bought and how we made it work. Taking a close-up, we had actually purchased this whole setup, I want to say maybe before or just after the engine blew, and we had plans like, okay, we'll get around to it. Let me get this dipstick tube out of the way so you can get a better view. Pull that out and set it aside. Okay, so what this is the, down here, the GlowShift oil pressure sensor, and it has a little clip. You just plug in your wiring. Easy enough. This is the factory sensor for oil pressure. Problem is the oil pressure, you're not going to get a warning or anything unless it's like severely low, and with the GlowShift you can link it up to a gauge in your cluster and monitor in real time. And since oil issues were the main reason that this engine has blown, or did blow, about a year ago, we wanted to make sure that when we put all the forged internals and everything is brand new on here, and it is a 0-mile engine, that we can keep an eye on the important things like oil pressure in real time. So initially, we bought just the gauge, which came with the sensor and the tap. And so what happens is the tap or the splitter allows you to plug in the GlowShift into the housing here, and then still have the stock or factory gauge, sensor as well. The problem was that you can see that on the GlowShift adapter that the port is so close to the edge there that when this port was all the way against the block, you couldn't screw the GlowShift on. So if you take a look there, it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but the actual sensor goes out past the adapter. So we weren't able to screw it on because it was hitting the block. So we searched on the internet, and if you find an adapter where the port is just moved out, maybe on the other side, then I think you'll be fine. But we had to get this extender to actually bring it off the block. We couldn't find a shorter one, and you know, it was hard to track down. But if you could do that, then you could probably do away with this. And I'm sure the products are out there and they exist, but this is just where we've landed. And on the Sweet Speed R forums, you have seen some issues where people say, oh, it's too far out, there's too much play. But I mean, everything is locked in real solid. I mean, I'm barely touching it. And it's so solid that the whole engine is moving with it. And in terms of routing, there was 2 issues. Well, actually 1 issue that was reported, and that is the main radiator hose, right? So this comes out and down and goes over to, you know, this general area. And before we pulled the engine, we actually just screwed this unit in, and it clears the radiator hose, no issue. The main issue that we had that wasn't addressed is the dipstick tube, and this was all painted and coated, and we can see it's all chipped off, and that's because we had to reshape it, right? So this comes in and it comes over and bolts to the front of your PCV housing. So we had to kind of just do a little reshaping of the unit to kind of get it to go up and then still bracket up and drill just a separate hole in there to make sure that it mounts up properly. But then other than that, you can see it clears perfectly, and we're very safe not to put any kinks in this hose so that the actual dipstick does come out without a problem. So if you're wondering if you can or you can't, there it is. It's doable. And I would recommend that oil pressure is one of the more important things that you would want to monitor in real time. Obviously, if you have like a dash command app or something like that, D5 T5, you can kind of look at those things, but a nice gauge pod staring at your face is always good when you have spent as much money as you have building a 0-mile forged internal engine.